What's up guys, my name is Ace, and something really interesting that I found out today is 1 year ago today is when Modern Warfare 2 was officially teased and confirmed. And as a result, it seems likely that within the next month or so, we are likely going to start seeing some teasers or information leak regarding CoD 2023. Although this time around, I wouldn't be surprised if they hold off a little bit longer before they start teasing this next game. And just a quick recap here, initially the rumors were stating that Modern Warfare 2 was going to be a 2-year CoD, but then some new leaks and rumors indicated that they actually pivoted on that, and instead of an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 and a second year of support for this game, they're actually pivoting that intended expansion into a brand new title that's essentially going to be an extension of Modern Warfare 2. And in all the investor calls and everything, Activision has been stating that there will be a brand new full premium release this year. So that does seem to directly confirm that we will be seeing a new CoD this year. And with all of that in mind, today I just wanted to share some of my general hopes for how they're going to be handling this year's Call of Duty game. Keep in mind, this is not going to be like a full-on wish list or anything. I will be making videos like that once the game is actually announced and revealed. This is more so just how I hope they're handling things in general with this game. Also, I should note this is entirely focused around the regular core multiplayer experience. And the first thing I want to point out here is my expectations for this year's Call of Duty game are going to be kept very, very low. And the reason behind this is just due to those rumors that this wasn't even initially intended to be a full release, and essentially they've pivoted and turned an expansion pack into a full game. As a result of that, I don't expect the same that I would expect out of a game that had like a full-on like 3 or 4 year development cycle where they were starting from scratch and building an entirely new game from there. But having said that, there is the optimistic voice in me that thinks that this is actually a pretty big opportunity to essentially just create a much more optimized version of Modern Warfare 2. And I think this is sort of the best case scenario with this new CoD coming out. I think the fact that they are releasing it as a new CoD rather than expansion would allow them to make some key changes that they otherwise maybe wouldn't necessarily be able to make because they're just baked into the game a little too heavily. I think so many of the core building blocks of Modern Warfare 2 are perfectly fine. I think there is a great core to the game. It's just that many of the decisions that they've made with Modern Warfare 2 I really don't like, and I feel like are holding the game back from reaching its full potential. But unfortunately, many of these elements are intertwined with so many other elements of the game that by the time the game hit beta, it was too late for them to make any significant changes to these areas. And that's where I feel the opportunity comes with CoD 2023. The best case scenario, in my eyes at least, is they can learn these key lessons from Modern Warfare 2 and basically just strip back certain elements of the game that didn't really pan out too well and create a more optimized version of Modern Warfare 2. Basically just a Modern Warfare 2.5. So let's go through my short list of general lessons that I would hope they would learn from Modern Warfare 2, assuming this is the route they end up taking. One of the biggest things in my opinion that's holding back Modern Warfare 2 that unfortunately I feel like they were committed to by the time the beta hit and it was too late to make any significant changes to, this is the perk system. This brand new perk system with perk packages, as well as having to charge up your perks throughout a match in order to earn them. In my opinion, I feel like this was a complete flop. This has been one of the biggest complaints since the beta of the game, and based on what I've seen at least, there are very few people out there that prefer this style of a perk system compared to a more traditional style of perk system in Call of Duty. I still feel like this was them making changes for the sake of change so they could announce that they had something new. I don't think it was very well thought out. I don't think it worked out very well. I feel like this significantly limited playstyle variety. Part of that is also just the way that they structured the perks with the different tiers, but that's also all intertwined with the fact that they have these charge times, so some perks it doesn't make sense to charge, other perks it does. And I feel like that really messed with how they balanced the perks within the different tiers, and therefore balanced various playstyles and specializations within the game. And it just became a big unnecessary mess in my opinion that harmed the overall depth and replayability of the gameplay because it inherently limits playstyle variety. So this is definitely one of my biggest hopes for CoD 2023 is that they've learned a lesson with this perk system and that they'll return more to a formula that just works within the Call of Duty franchise. And in doing so, another big thing is I hope this would allow them to bring the Specialist Strike package in, where instead of earning your kill streak rewards, you could earn additional perks by going on a streak in a single life. That's yet another area that provides a lot more depth and replayability to the game, at least in my opinion. As to the next general lesson that I really hope they learn from Modern Warfare 2, this is the spawn system. At this point, I've pretty much given up on trying to get Infinity Ward to get away from the quote-unquote squad spawn style system, where proximity to enemy players doesn't really seem to play a big factor. It's mainly proximity to teammates, and this also leads to a lot of mid-map spawns, which completely ruins map flow and predictability in a match, and therefore limits the skill gap as well as just general consistency while playing the game. And currently, the rumors are for CoD 2023, Sledgehammer is going to be the lead developer on this. Although that's not confirmed, we don't know if that's 100% the case, but assuming that is correct, I feel like even throughout the life cycle of Vanguard, Sledgehammer learned this lesson. They started off with the more squad spawn style of a system early on. There was a lot of pushback against that, and they massively improved the spawn system several months after launch, and the moment they did that, the gameplay improved considerably. So I'm really hoping Sledgehammer is in charge of this area and they take those lessons that they learned with Vanguard and implement them into CoD 2023. Then, next up on my list of things that I hope CoD 2023 optimizes from Modern Warfare 2, this is just general movement mechanics. As it is right now in Modern Warfare 2, it seems like you either pre-aim and shoot your target, or you jump shot around corners or jump shot as much as possible. And those are basically the two primary options that people use for movement in the game. So I'd like to see just a bit more variety added. I'd like to see improvements to being able to slide and shoot your gun in hipfire with potentially a wide hipfire spread to keep it in check. I'm not asking for slide canceling to return or anything, just a little bit more viability in other movement options like sliding, and also things like strafing. I think there should be the ability to get much faster strafe speeds than we can see in Modern Warfare 2, even if it requires a trade-off to gain that power. I'm totally fine with that, just to provide some more options to navigate the map and to handle certain situations, because again, this just adds a little more depth to the overall gameplay experience. After that, the last big lesson that I would hope that they'd learn from Modern Warfare 2 here is the user interface. I hope they completely scrap the idea of this style of user interface that Modern Warfare 2 uses. I'd love for them to just keep it simple, intuitive, easy to navigate, much more emphasis on vertical lists that can display a whole lot more information and they're a lot easier to navigate, especially with a controller, and less emphasis on horizontal scrolling and tabs. And just a little side note with UI as well, I'm really hoping we get those advanced gun stats back in the menus again, especially if tuning ends up returning with this next Call of Duty game. It seems like all of the other studios like providing this, so again, if Sledgehammer's in charge, hopefully we can see this with this next game. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in today's video. Like I said, I didn't want to get into too many nitty-gritty details. I'm not going to talk about like individual perks or game balancing items or anything. It's more so just the general stuff. And honestly, I feel like this could turn out well if they were to go this route with things, where they don't try to reinvent the wheel, they don't include a bunch of new gimmicks and bells and whistles to the game, and instead just take what we've got with Modern Warfare 2, strip back certain elements that didn't work, and then just create the best possible version of Modern Warfare 2. To me, that's the best case scenario, especially with the apparently very limited dev time that they've got going into this next Call of Duty game. But of course, these are just my opinions, and this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What do you think about the idea of them just keeping it simple this time around with Call of Duty, and just focusing on making essentially the best Modern Warfare 2.5 possible, rather than them trying to be overly ambitious by reinventing wheels that honestly don't need to be reinvented? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.